I've been a model for, about 5 years now. I'm very extravagant, I would say. Very bubbly. I'm a bit of a wild card. I love an adventure that's somewhere crazy off the beaten track. I'm very much into cool artwork. I mean, as you can see, I absolutely love my tattoos. They're a big part of me and my personality. Yeah, so that's pretty much me. I was trying to be cool, I would say. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I thought, nobody else has a tattoo. So I was about 14 when I thought about getting one done. And I mean, I'm not going to mention the person that did it because I had it done when I was 16. So, yeah, they didn't ID me and I probably looked about 12. But I guess I just wanted to sort of stand out. I wanted to be a bit individual, let's say. So my first tattoo was it's actually gone, but it was a skull and roses on my back, which are now covered. So I actually had it lasered, and that's an entirely different story altogether. So I would say that, yes, I did like it, but when you're young, you probably don't think about these things as much as you should. I don't regret it because I loved it at the time, but as I got older, I decided that I wanted something a bit better on my back. So the tattooist that I use at the moment, and I have used him for a very long time, he's called Mason and he is from Poison Ink. So with him, I really liked his work because it's very much my sort of style. So he does a lot of neo-trad. He does sometimes quite cartoony pieces. He does lots of, his work's very colourful, and as you can see, so I like my colour. So for me, he was just the best one to go to for what was going on in my mind. I get on with him really well, and when I sort of speak to him about my ideas, he just knows. He knows me and he knows what I like. So when he designs, he's got my personality in mind. So yeah, that was the reason I picked him. So, tour of my tattoos. So I have, this is probably the wildest leg, I will say. Nobody actually understands it because it's very, very individual. So all of these pieces on my leg are Buffy the Vampire Slayer related. So I don't know if anyone's a fan of Buffy, but I'm a big super fan. So I've got the iconic vampire book. I've got Slayerfest 98, which is from season 3. They're all sort of, related to a quote or something that happened in that season. So I've also got a Spike quote here. He's a character from Buffy, which is from eyeballs to entrails, my sweet, which is something he says to his girlfriend vampire, Drusilla. And then I have a class protector, little umbrella, which is from season 3, and that is the award that Buffy gets from her school when she graduates. And then just on the side there is a Kiss the Librarian mug, which is a shout out to season 4 when Spike is chained in a bathtub. And alongside that there is also anybody will probably know this episode if you watch Buffy, but there's an episode called The Gentleman, and they basically lose their voices in Sunnydale. These demons take away their voices, and they have these flashcards. And it's my favourite episode because it's done actually in complete silence. And I just absolutely love it. And they do these flashcards and Giles draws like the worst stick figure of Buffy ever. And he says Buffy will patrol tonight. So I got that. Everyone thinks it's weird because they think that maybe my artist just couldn't draw. but that is actually how it's meant to look. So the rest of the piece up my leg, again, it's all pretty vampire, supernatural related. Come on, Luna, get out of the way. You have to excuse my cat. So I've got a vampire lady here, which is a vampire lady. That was done about 8 years ago. And I've sort of just added bits to it to almost create like a thigh piece. So I've also got a very friendly werewolf here on my leg, and a skull. Again, it's all kind of shout outs to supernatural things. I'm a big fan of not just Buffy, so I also watch lots of things like True Blood, The Vampire Diaries, Supernatural, the TV show. Yeah, big Supernatural fan. And then I've also got a little Ouija board counter, which my mum wasn't thrilled about, but I love it. And it all meshes in. So that's my very supernatural leg, let's say. I'm quite a bright, bubbly person. So for me, I wanted my tattoos to represent how I am. And I just think they're really different. I love the colours. Lots of people that see them, they sort of look again, I'd say. And they're like, oh, I mean, they're very colourful. And I'm actually extremely lucky that my skin in particular, because not everybody's does, my skin tends to absorb colour very, very well, whereas other people it fades. So even though, let's say this one is nearly 10 years old, it's still really, really bright. So yeah, I'm very lucky, and good sun cream care as well. Factor 50 all the time. So on my other leg, this is, as you can probably see, very animal related. I am a huge animal fan, I'm a wildlife fan, and I wanted to put like a little cute twist on the animals that I've got. So they're all sort of very different. I've got a tiger here, which is a very cute tiger with a little bow in her hair and little glasses. Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, these are just animals that I absolutely love. And I said to Mason, I said, let's do like a cute twist on all of these animals. So I've got a little bat down here, a very cute bat with big eyes and little love hearts around my tiger. And then I've also got a little rabbit here, and I thought it would be quite cool to make it a little satanic rabbit. So they're very random, but they probably incorporate like lots of things, like where I love wildlife and supernatural things. It's kind of just like a big mix. And again, they're really colourful, so they're very striking. You can see them from distance. Lots of people come up to me and speak to me about them. And then I've also got, to match my rabbit, a little satanic goat here with little love hearts on him. So he's quite sweet. And then just on the back of my calf, I've got a little panda, which I absolutely love pandas. They're one of my favourite animals. And again, a little cute twist. He's holding a little cupcake. So my arm sleeve here, this was done, a lot of the work was actually done about 10 years ago on this sleeve. So I've got my owl here, because again, owls are actually one of my favourite animals. And then I wanted, again, you can see there's a theme going on with my tattoos. I wanted like a bit of a supernatural sort of touch to it. So we've got a dream catcher going down, which I like because it kind of breaks up the tattoo, because there's a lot of colour in there. And we've got like a Mexican sugar skull, because I love like the Day of the Dead themes. And then just below that, my favourite little thing is this little voodoo doll here, because I'm a big fan of like the voodoo culture, and I just thought it was adorable. So it just had to go on. And then we've also got a little bee underneath, because again, I'm a bee fan. So it just basically incorporates everything. And then there's a little pentagram, because we sort of had a debate with my elbow, because on most elbows with people that are tattooed, they tend to get cobwebs or like a star. And I thought, oh no, I want to be a little bit different here. So we decided that a bloodied up pentagram would look really cool. And the red and the blue, I just think the contrast goes really well together. So yeah, that's sort of the story of the sleeve. And again, I absolutely love that it's coloured. It's, you know, very vibrant. Whenever I sort of walk around, you'd be amazed at how many people sort of come up to me and go, oh my God, like that's so colourful. Like, is that brand new? And they never believe me when I tell them it's about 10 years old. It's, yeah, it's quite funny. So my chest and my neck. So this was done, about 8 months ago now. And I actually only did it in two sessions. So I was quite brave on this front. And these, I knew I wanted something very bold, and I wanted it to stand out because, you know, we were very conscious that being on my neck, this is going to be a real focal point tattoo. It's going to be probably the first thing that somebody sees when they see me. So we had a discussion about what would work, shapes, colours. So I knew I wanted a moth on my throat. So we started with with that, and that was an interesting experience. You don't realise how much you breathe until someone's leaning on you with a needle. So that was very painful. And then we decided to incorporate some skulls on either side, which, believe it or not, were more painful than the throat. That was probably one of the worst pains that I've had with tattoos. And then I decided that instead of going home, I was going to get the rest done the very next day. So that would be my roses, my heart, and then the dot work just to bring it all together. So for me, this was very much about being a more striking artistic piece that was, you know, it just drew the eye in. And funnily enough, we took about 5 attempts to get all the stenciling right, because it needed to be completely equal on both sides, and you'd be amazed at how difficult that is to stencil. So Mason probably lost his mind doing this one, but it turned out amazingly. The colour choices I love, you know, there's yellows, there's blues, there's purples, there's pinks, and even little old ladies that I see down the shop, they stop me and they tell me it's amazing. So yeah, good job, well done, Mason. I am going to be getting this arm done because at the moment I hate it. It's too bare for my liking. Whenever someone takes a photo of me, I absolutely hate it from this side. So this will be a pin-up and a hot rod arm because it's something I absolutely love. So when I first started modelling, I actually started modelling in pin-up. And I just love the fashion, the 50s fashion. I love how women dressed. I love the hairstyles. Yeah, for me, pin-ups, very, very close to my heart. And then alongside that, more vintage things. There's a theme again. I absolutely love vintage cars like the old Mustangs, the Chevys. So we're sort of going to incorporate a very old school arm, which again is going to be nice and bright colours. And then it will actually hopefully bring this whole piece together. So we're going to sort of marry it up with the chest piece. And yeah, I'm very excited because it'll finally be done and I'll feel like a whole person. I probably get most of my ideas for my tattoos probably a lot through conversation with Mason. So some people, I mean, Pinterest is always really useful. Instagram's very useful. There's a lady I follow on Instagram called Alexandra, and I believe she's from Germany. And she does, actually, they're very similar to the animals that I've got. They're a little bit different how Mason does them, but I get some of my inspiration from her. And generally speaking, me and Mason, we probably sit having a chat for, a good half an hour, and I get all these crazy ideas in my mind. And he, being the artist, I mean, I will say I'm not good at art. So for me, I've got the idea in my mind, and then Mason essentially puts it on paper. Knowing my personality, he adds a twist that he knows that will match me. So yeah, it's sort of a match made in heaven. I got a bit of a break when I first started getting tattoos. I actually dated my first tattooist, funnily enough. So for most of my sleeve here, and my thigh piece, my vampire lady here, and my Buffy quote, which is all down my ribs. No one ever knows what it means. And my crossbow, they were all actually free. So I got off quite lucky there. But as my tattooist moved over to Australia, and that is when I found Mason, who does my tattoos now. So I would probably say, it's a horrific thought to think about. I would say, judging on the hours that I've had, could be around £6,000, which is horrifying, but worth it. So for modelling, my tattoos, this is a very interesting question because on paper, you could say, yes, it does hinder me, but in my personal view, I don't believe that to be the case because I'm probably not going to be interested in photography that's, in my eyes, I think it's quite bland. And I think a photographer that would discount a model based on her artwork is not, I think that's quite small-minded. So yes, I would probably say it can be a hindrance, but actually it brings you to the people that you really want to work with, because I find with photographers, they're more artistic, they're more open-minded when they shoot with tattooed women. The ideas are generally better. So yeah, it is an interesting question, but for me personally, I've done all the work that I wanted to do and I've always found a way. The tattoo community, I would say there is a big tattoo community, generally through things like social media. So I follow a lot of inked ladies, and the community's great. We have artists in the communities and they're extremely supportive on Instagram. I think some communities it can be quite there's a lot of jealousy, but a lot of the ladies that I follow, we always comment on each other's photos and like lift each other up. So it is actually a very positive community, and we're all really interested in artwork. Even if it's not art we'd have ourselves, we can appreciate the different styles of it. So the big events surrounding tattoos, that would be, the London Tattoo Convention. They have them, it's not just London, they actually have a lot of conventions all over the place. And you'd be quite surprised, people come from abroad to come to these conventions. There's hundreds and hundreds of people, hundreds of artists. So they're amazing events, and they sort of bring together all these different styles of ink, because you've got realism, neo-trad, like cartoon work. So they're amazing events. Essentially what it is the artists come and they showcase their work, and it's an incredible experience because you see just how much range there is within tattoos. The styles are all very, very different. They're great days out to meet, like-minded people that love their art. You see some crazy things at the conventions, and obviously people get tattooed there, which is a great experience. And then you've got the competitions at the end of the day. So they essentially vote on things like a female small piece, female large piece, colour piece, black and grey piece. So it's really, really fascinating to go to these. So the stigma with tattoos, I would say, I won't say it's gone. It is slowly going. Attitudes are changing. I mean, I still get the odd person that says, why would you ruin your body with these things? And I generally find it is the older generation. So I'll be honest, my mum at first, she wasn't thrilled about my tattoos, and the latest one, I mean, she's actually been totally fine with all like the ones on my body. When I got my neck done, she wasn't thrilled. she sort of went, "Oh, Emma," but it's my mum knows me. She knows I love it, and it's not stopped me from any opportunities. People I've been employed with previously have been massively accepting of my tattoos, so it's really positive. We're going in the right direction. Things are definitely changing. It is going. It's going in the right direction, and people do understand that we are just all normal people that just like our ink. But I've had older generations, let's say, that have decided to voice their opinion at me in the street and say, "Oh, you're a beautiful young lady and you've covered yourself in all of this mess." And I mean, for me, I've got a sense of humour. I'm just like, well, I'm not asking you to get them. I'm not asking anyone else to get them. For me, I love them. I haven't got them for anybody else. I'm not interested in what anybody else thinks. They are for me. So yeah, you've got to have a sense of humour with these people. But as time goes on, I don't think it'll be a problem. Now, definitely the positive outweighs the negative by a long shot. I would say 95% of people, they're dying to ask you questions. They're dying to ask you which one was the most painful and how long did that take. And I guess for me, they're always really taken aback by the colour in mine. I have that said to me an awful lot. If photographers book me and they've seen my portfolio online, they'll meet me and the first thing they'll say is, "Oh, I thought they were like edited in the photos to look that bright." And they're always shocked that they're really, really bright. So for me, yeah, lots of people are just super interested in tattoos. Tattoos have definitely become more popular. I mean, when I was a kid, you'd walk around and I couldn't even tell you. It was a very rare occasion you saw a woman with a sleeve, let's say, or, a big leg piece. It was, women generally speaking had these very tiny little tattoos, little cute flowers or hearts or something like that. And it wasn't, until I'd say, about 10 years ago, that was when you did start seeing more sleeves. And I guess it probably correlates with how things have become more equal with women. And I think women now are more realizing, actually we can do these things. It's not just men that can have great big sleeves and they can look amazing. So for me, it's just really, really positive to see more people saying, no, like I'm going to do what I want to do and look how I want to look. I'd probably say an inspirational person would be Kat Von D. I mean, a lot of people will know who she is. She's a tattoo artist from LA, and she's sort of the woman that made this like a cool thing, an in thing. People look at her and think, oh my God, like she looks amazing. And another pin-up model that I follow on Instagram, she's also from the States. She's called Sabine Kelly. And she's a very, very pin-up model, and she does lots of, vintage things, which, to be honest, on paper, you probably wouldn't fit her as because she is tattooed, but she looks incredible, and she's pushed through that, boundary of, oh no, we don't want to photograph you because you've got tattoos and this needs to be 50s pin-up. But yeah, she's very inspirational to me because she's pushed through that. She does amazing, and yeah, she's just sort of changed the dynamic, I'd say, in that respect. So my tattoos definitely represent me as a person. They're bold, they're bright, they're crazy. They definitely are a bit crazy. And they just, I disagree with some people saying, every tattoo must have this like really deep meaning and deep story to it. I actually disagree with that. I think you can have just beautiful art that you personally appreciate because, heavily tattooed people, we'd be completely lying if we said that every single like bit of ink on our bodies meant something really meaningful. It doesn't. It's just about the art and what you appreciate and what you like. And as I said earlier, I love my supernatural elements of things. I love wildlife. I love bold color and patterns. So all of that comes together, and yeah, that is essentially me. So the best advice I would say for a woman getting a tattoo is, first and foremost, speak to a reputable artist. So do your research, because I can tell you, I had to get my back lasered, and it wasn't terrible, the tattoo, but it was something I just sort of dived into, and I just wanted a tattoo, which I'm sure a lot of young women probably do feel the same way. But honestly, really do think about it. Speak to an artist, let them run through some ideas with you. Say, the type of style that you like. It's got to show your personality at the end of the day. And I mean, the best thing I can say to you is do think about it, because lasering is the worst experience you will ever go through. I had my back lasered and it was horrific. So really think before you do. I kind of hate that there's still, even though tattoos are more like accepted, I would say something that I wish would still change is still there's this little stereotype that you're kind of like a lower being if you're tattooed, or you're some sort of like criminal, or you don't have a proper job. I hate that stereotype, because you can have a very successful career, you can be a very intelligent woman, and trust me when I say your tattoos will not get in your way. So I think, for people that don't have tattoos and maybe don't like them, which is absolutely fine, these people are still your equals. They're not somebody that's going to mug you in the street. We are just normal people that love our art.